Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's continue for this week's series, the friendship series. So today I have on my list pendant to do BTS members Jimin and Tae, or Tae and Jimin. So yes, I'm going to be pulling cards for them to see how they're doing in the friendship. And please be respectful in the comment section. Do not fight each other. Like let's stay respectful and toxic free, please. So for this case, I really felt tempted to take this deck. This deck is the Radiant Sun, and it's an oracle. It's an astrological one. So yes, I felt very tempted to read for this. So we're going to be reading about this in this format. In the case of Jimin that I placed on the left, he got the card of detachment, that is Mercury in Aquarius, isolation, that it's Saturn in Virgo, and order, that it's Moon in Virgo. So definitely there's a lot of coldness from Jimin. I believe that there's like this feeling of not not being able to connect emotionally. I mean, he is trying, but he does it maybe from a place of where he says a few things, or he interacts with people, in this case with B, you know, that yes, they talk, they exchange like information, opinions, facts, but there's not much like emotional connection. And I think that it has to do with him feeling a bit isolated. You know, he got Saturn on Virgo, so he does have a lot of Virgo placements here on this reading. This is what the cards are showing me. So this also makes him be in this very like perfectionist state, where actually he's perfecting a lot of things about himself, thinking a lot of things, but at the same time like being a bit like detached and isolated from the people that he loves or the people that love him. So because he's very on his mind, he's very concentrated, he's very like focused, even too much, because he's like, you know, looking and going over and over at the details, probably a bit too obsessive, but I think that for him it's a sort of like he really feels like he wants to that he really wants to like put order in his life. I think that somehow Jimin had always felt very chaotic inside, not on the exterior. It's not something that you can see, it's something that goes on inside of him. And I think that he's like trying to go deep into himself and figure out what is it, you know, what is it that causes this chaos. And probably to do so, he needs to be alone. You know, he needs some time alone. He needs to be isolated. You know, probably for him, this is a moment of facing himself. You know, and it can be from, for example, for Tae, that they always been together. You know, for Tae, maybe it's a bit like, oh wow, like what's happening with you, you know, like you weren't like this, like are you okay, you know. But I think that Jimin just evades the question, or evades giving answers. I think that and it's not about being mysterious, you know, because I think that it's not about being mysterious. I think that it's about, you know, he's searching for answers. He's trying to like order his thoughts. He's trying to quiet his mind, which I believe that probably is not an easy task. You know, that I know that he's Libra, you know, He's a moon in Gemini, so probably yes, thoughts and obsessive ones are very present. Um, so I think that probably if you notice that he's in his interaction with B, or if you, I don't know if we are seeing them together, I have no idea. But probably there's this like camaraderie, you know, in the sense that yes, they are friends, they're part of the group, but they maybe are not that touchy and loving, you know. It's more like yes, we are part of the group, and yes, here we are, like standing next to each other, or probably not, because I have the card of isolation. So probably because of the individual activities and stuff, you will definitely like have a hard time like seeing them together. But I think that for Jimin, all of this, it's an instance in his life where he's gathering information about why he is the way he is, and I think he's trying his best to understand. Maybe he did recognize that in the past there were some things that he wanted to change about himself, you know, probably some things that made him very unhappy. And he's like, oh, you know, I should review this because I don't want to go through this again. And I feel like probably when these thoughts invade him and when he starts to overthink, he needs to be left alone. You know, I think that this is something that probably him as a Libra, he does have this tendency of, you know, reaching out to others and ask for others' opinions. But in this case, I believe he is a bit much more recluded. He's taking this opportunity to be by himself and be like, okay, like what is going on, you know, like why, like probably something happened, I don't know why. I have no I think that actually like it doesn't have to do with B. I believe that we are here, we are reading for their friendship, but honestly Jimin is taking me elsewhere. um I believe that something happened that just triggered this need to do this sort of like research or this inner work, you know, an inner observation about his character. You know, somehow he's like, oh, okay, so I do this, so I act like this, so I think it finally hit him, and he wasn't, because of the routine, he wasn't able to see that. I think that he wasn't able to see that because he was distracted by others. This is very Libra, actually, to be distracted by others and what others expect of him. That now that he's finally like on his own, he's like, oh, okay, like, so I do have these tendencies. Um, and he definitely wants to understand. He wants to understand. Um, and I think that for him it's necessary to do it at his pace and to also be very organized with that. Probably he has like a sort of routine in his life that it's very routinary, that it's very, because a lot of cards of Virgo came out here. So if he has like a routine, there are like all these little steps. But I think that, you know, it can become a bit dangerous because he can get too picky when it comes to details, you know, like, no, 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 like, this is not good enough. I have to be better, you know, I have to do better, you know, and him actually, like, again, going in this cycle of repetition, of always, like, finding the flaw, you know, and actually getting very, very, like, sensitive to what people say or think. Or actually, I think that it's not what people say or think. I think that it's what he perceives that people think of him. Um, Definitely his energy is not, I sense that he's agitated, that he's not entirely comfortable where he is right now. He's in a sort of search for answers, for meanings, but I think that he would have a trouble finding those, and probably when it comes to his connection with B, that, B is his friend, so, somehow probably B could give him a sort of like, like a sort of feedback and be like, oh, well, maybe why, this is my opinion. But I think that since he got the card of isolation, probably he's like, no, I want to do this on my own. Like being stubborn, like, I don't want anyone around me. Like, I really need to process this. I really need to be left alone. Otherwise, I'm going to explode. Like, he's really getting very, like, sensitive. Like, in the sense of, don't touch me, don't invade my personal space, like, let me be. And probably, when it comes to his interaction with V, it's like this. It's like, okay, we will message each other, we will talk when we talk, but for the time being, just let me alone and you do what you have to do, and, we will see each other later. Something like that, there's not much feeling here. There's not much, like, emotional connection, or, there's just words. Like, yes, we talk to each other every once in a while, but not, like, at least from Jimmy's perspective. And from Taeyong's perspective, he got also Mercury in Virgo, caution, then Moon in Gemini, adaptability, and Venus in Taurus, romance. So for P, it's, he also got this Mercury in Virgo. That is the card of caution. So I think that for Jimin, not for Jimin, for Tae, when it comes to Jimin, definitely he can feel the tension. And especially when it comes to how they speak to each other, there's something about how they communicate that it's very, like, notorious, the change. And I think that definitely for Tae is like he's trying to go with caution. He's trying to be cautious. He's like, okay, I get it. You are feeling a bit sensitive. You are in your head. Okay, I will proceed with caution. I will be cautious with what I say to you, because I understand you are feeling like this, and I think that this is also a sign of being a true friend, because I believe that probably Tae, with being a Capricorn and also a moon in Aries, probably he has his moments where he's too honest or where he's too blunt, and he can actually trigger Jimin in some aspects with his opinions. So he's like, okay, I will not say much. I will just, like, I would say a few things like, how are you? And that's it. Like, I will not be my annoying self. Like, we all can be that friend. So, there's this sense like, okay, I would want to for our way of talking to each other to be a bit more fluent. but here I'm sensing that you are not here to hear it, so, I better hush, or I better refrain from saying what I want to say. So I think that even in, if someone like Tay definitely can sense this, it's because maybe, Jimin energy is something that when he's quiet or when he is, like, just thinking, there's something about his aura that intensifies, and it seems like it's dangerous, like you don't want to go near him, like somehow there's like a warning. So I think that it's very wise for me to be like, okay, I will, refrain from saying what I think, like, we will talk when we talk, I understand. Also, he has the Moon in Gemini card, the card of adaptability, so he's like, okay, yes, I will not take it seriously, I will not take this seriously. Like, honestly, like, in the sense that he will not take it personal, in the sense that he knows that probably Jimin is going through a lot of things as a person, And this time he doesn't feel guilty, or he doesn't feel like he contributes to that. He understands that this is Jimin's personal journey. Probably in the past, because of how close their bond is, somehow he was carried away with Jimin's issues, with Jimin's like problems. So he was like, oh, since I am the friend, maybe I was part of this, or maybe I initiated this, or I wasn't paying attention. And somehow, feeling a bit guilty, being like, oh, wow, how didn't I see this? And actually being so caught up, so close to Jimin's maybe insecurities, that he's like, oh, wow, like I have to stay here in this very uncomfortable and intimate situation with him because we are friends, and I have to be here next to him when he needs me. So, but now he's like, no, he's like, I better come and go. I feel like probably with that Moon in Gemini card, probably Tay feels a bit more adaptable, more like, yes, like a bit more like excited emotionally to move and to try different things, and to connect with different adventures. He's feeling he probably, is talking to a lot of people. He's planning a lot of things. He's doing a lot of networking. So, yes, he talks to Jimin, but he also has another relationships. So, for Tay, it's like, yes, I will come back and check on you, but, I have to go because, I have this other thing as well. So, Tay, he's been a good friend. He's been understanding and supportive. This is why, I clarified this part of the card of the caution card. He knows that probably Jimin is feeling a bit like sensitive, so he's like, oh, I better do not be my blunt and honest and straightforward self, because probably he will not like it. So I better just be considerate towards him, because we always have these friends, especially when we are good friends with someone. We know when they are going through their personal things. So it's better, sometimes it's better to not like interfere in that process, because it's a personal one. And also I believe that Tay, it's in a different stage. His energy is moving a lot. His energy is, I don't know if he had been traveling to other countries. I have no idea, but that Moon in Gemini definitely indicates a lot of networking, a lot of communication with others. So, he's pretty popular in that sense. I don't know if he's working on his own his own album, but I think that probably he is like interacting with others and having fun, and being actually very like mentally very motivated, thinking about brainstorming and having different ideas. So he is busy. He's busy, so but he wants to check on his friend. It's just like he's busy. He cannot stay for long, you know. And then he got the card of Venus Venus in Taurus. That is a card of romance. So, like this is actually a reading for them to see how their bond is. But actually, I think that they actually could potentially be like feeling romantic, or romantic towards someone, or being involved in a romance with someone, or starting to feel romantic for someone. So this also like is a sign that probably he is a bit more happy, like a bit more excited about his life. And this is why probably he doesn't worry that much for Jimin. I think that there's and also the fact that Jimin is isolating himself as well. So he's probably, in another instance, he would have felt like offended, like, why are you pushing me away? Like, why are you so why do you need to be alone, or why can we talk about what's going on with you? But now Tay is like focused on another romantic things, or having other friends and having other connections. So he is like, he's not alone, he's busy. um but I think that he's busy doing what he loves. I don't think that it's all work, because actually I don't get cards that indicate work. So I actually indicate that probably he's having fun. Like, I don't know, I don't picture him at the moment being locked in a studio. I think that definitely he's having fun, and being outgoing. So probably traveling a bit. So yes, these two are in a very different, like, um, um, stage at the moment. They are doing their best with what they have available. Um, Definitely this, the individual activities and everything has, like, sparked different things in them. So they are learning. They and this process of also, like, being focusing on themselves is part of a friendship as well. We do have moments with our friends where we have to be separated, or where we have to be, like, at a distance from each other, because we need to resolve some issues by ourselves. And this is something very important. Like, it's all about our individuality, and what is best for us. And yes, a friend can be a help. A friend can help us, but they cannot live life for us. We have to do it. We have to make the decisions. We have to learn. We have to accept a few things about ourselves. And sometimes to be isolated is the best. To be able to see things from a much more clearer perspective. And I believe that this is the journey that Jimin is doing. He's facing himself, he's facing his own, he's reviewing his actions, probably feeling a bit nervous about it, but he's like, okay, I have to do this by myself. This is the moment. The moment is now. So yes, guys, this is all I have for these two. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.